Alright, well, I just edited a whole video. It was supposed to be the severe weather chance, but now the Storm Prediction Center has updated it, and it did a pretty big update. But anyways, we are tracking a big storm system coming to parts of the Midwest with damaging winds and hail and potentially some tornadoes on the table. So let's jump straight into the video. Let's talk about what we could be expecting today. As you can see here, we have a pretty decent chance for some severe weather today, all the way down from southeastern Montana down to the Great Lakes region. We have a chance for some severe weather today, as we'll get some of those storms to potentially to develop, with damaging winds being a pretty big concern with this, hail being a big concern with this as well. But tornadoes also are a pretty big concern with this. As you can see here, here's some of the storms that will develop out there, and you can see, if you check out the tornado risk here, we have a 10% tornado risk in place for Rochester areas and Winona, La Crosse, Austin. You guys really need to be watching for a potential for some tornadoes today, as we could have a chance to see some tornadoes. We even have a chance for a strong one too, EF2+. We have a 5% tornado risk and a 2% though too. And they did expand that 2% down to the Chicago area, where we do have isolated tornado 2 being a potential later tonight. Storms should start developing from the afternoon to the evening. Damaging winds will be a threat with this, but hail will also be a pretty big threat. Hail and tornadoes will be the main concern. If you live anywhere over here, from St. Cloud all the way down towards Chicago, anywhere in these highlighted areas, I do recommend you to park your car in the garage so that doesn't get damaged by hail. So, yeah, like I said, they'll start developing from the afternoon to the evening, and see that the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk, though, for Minneapolis, Rochester areas. I would say late evening into the night. As you can see here, this is what it will look like at 5 p.m. Eastern, potentially. Not everything that HRRR says is going to be right, but you can see we're going to have some storms potentially pop up out there, potentially producing a chance for tornadoes. But yeah, if you're out here inside this enhanced risk and this 10% tornado risk, you have a decent chance to have a potential tornado warning. So know what you're going to do if you do end up in a tornado warning, and your safe spot if you ever end up in a tornado warning, because you guys could be getting some nasty storms potentially over and over again. Maybe over and over again as these storms push through. So please be aware for that. Stay tuned to the forecast. Stay tuned to watches and everything as the storms push through those areas. And then these storms will kind of turn into a cluster of storms as we get into the overnight hours. As you can see right here, they'll kind of turn into a cluster of storms. Big blob, potentially producing some damaging winds, maybe a hail chance though as well as it continues to move east. So yeah, be aware for that. The slight risk includes Chicago, Milwaukee, Fort Wayne, over there towards St. Cloud and Marinette, as I say that. The enhanced risk includes Minneapolis, Rochester, Austin, La Crosse. Is La Crosse, I don't know if that's how you say that, Eau Claire. I'm sorry, guys, if I don't pronounce these very well, but anyways. Just make sure you're having a way to get alerts out here, because they have a pretty dangerous severe weather setup. We're having a much more conditional threat down here from San Angelo up towards Oklahoma City today. But I do think that we could have a potential for an isolated tornado or two down there, a damaging wind threat and a hail threat down there. It's just a much more conditional threat with some of those storms that develop down south towards San Angelo and Oklahoma City, as you can see there. But yeah, it's not going to be that big of a threat down there. So yeah, be aware for that. And think of CAPE and think of it as convective available potential energy, then think of it as storm fuel. Anyways, we have some CAPE coming up there. We got some instability. We got chances for some tornadoes. So please make sure you're having a way to get alerts out there and everything like that. And if you check out SIGTOR here, let's see what kind of levels we got, because we got some pretty crazy levels of CAPE out there. Look at this. We got some levels of SIGTOR out there. Look at this. It goes up to level 12. Yeah, I don't know if that's that accurate, but it's when we get those storms though. We got to be watching for potential strong tornadoes out here, as we could get some nasty storms out there. So please make sure you're staying weather aware for that. And that's the significant tornado parameter. So yeah. And then as we get into Tuesday, the severe weather potential does continue. Okay, Tuesday, tomorrow, we got severe weather potential all the way down from Texas up towards the Great Lakes region. We got a marginal risk, level 1 out of 5, and a slight risk, level 2 out of 5, going from Oklahoma City to Topeka all the way up there towards Michigan. And then we got an enhanced risk for tomorrow from Des Moines all the way up towards Milwaukee and Chicago. You guys are inside that enhanced risk for tomorrow on Tuesday. Okay, tornado threat is not going to be that high at this. We got 2 5% tornado risk marked with a tornado condition still intensity group 1. We do have a potential for a strong tornado tomorrow in some of these areas, EF2 plus, but it's not. I don't think tornadoes are going to be too much of a big concern. But look at this 2% tornado. So it goes from Texas up towards Michigan. It includes like almost all of Michigan, almost. So be aware for a potential for an isolated tornado or two, damaging winds as well, though, and a big hail threat from Des Moines all the way to Milwaukee and Chicago. Hail threat is probably just going to be the biggest threats for the next few days, because today's threat actually kind of went up a little bit. I wasn't expecting them to upgrade it to a 10%, but as we get into Wednesday, we do have a chance for 4 severe thunderstorms all the way from San Angelo all the way up towards Chicago area. For severe weather, we do have a chance on Wednesday. So make sure you're staying aware for that. I think damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes may be on the table. I don't think tornadoes will be that big of a concern. As we get into Fridays, there will be a severe weather threat all the way from Oklahoma City up towards Des Moines. Something to watch for as well. I think there will be damaging winds and hail as a main threat. Probably hail, but tornado. The reason I say hail is just because we've been getting so much hail threats for the past few days. But damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes will be a concern with this probably as well, though. So make sure you're staying aware for that. I don't know. But anyways, that's the chances for some severe weather over the next few days. Please make sure you're staying weather aware. We do have a chance for some excessive rainfall over here in parts of the Great Lakes region for today. As you can see right here, we got a excessive rainfall marginal from Duluth all the way to northern Michigan, including Alpena, Traverse City. You guys could be dealing with severe weather and excessive rainfall. Day 2 outlook does go from Michigan all the way down towards Texas, with an excessive rainfall chance as well for tomorrow and Tuesday. And then for Wednesday, this is going to be that excessive rainfall chance. Then Thursday, we don't have excessive rainfall chance. Friday, let's see if Friday has one. Yep, for Topeka all the way up towards Milwaukee. So flooding is also going to be a concern. Just keep that in mind. But severe weather, also keep that in mind. We also got a chance for fire weather today. Let's talk about the fire weather. We got chances for some fire weather all the way from Midland up towards Rapid City today. So be aware for that. We got 2 critical fire weather risks. As you can see right here, we got a critical fire weather risk out here for southeastern Colorado, parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle, northeastern New Mexico. We got another one for northwestern Nebraska and parts of the eastern Wyoming and southwestern South Dakota. And then we got another elevated chance for fire weather over here from Raleigh up towards Richmond area. So be aware for fire weather as well. It does continue as we get into tomorrow. That's going to be the fire weather chance. Convective available potential energy. Let's talk about that some more. If we switch over to here, you can see we're going to have some levels out there of some cape. So you can see today, look, we got some pretty decent levels out there for tomorrow. Let's talk about Tuesday. You can see that we got around 3,500 joules per kilogram out there. 3,000 joules per kilogram as well. So we got lots of storm fuel for tomorrow's severe weather threat, so be aware for that, because we could see a chance for some tornadoes tomorrow. But like today, we got to get through today though first, because today we have a decent tornado threat that we really need to be paying attention to. So that's what's going on with that. So just make sure you're having a way to get alerts tomorrow, as well as we're gonna have some pretty decent chances for some severe weather tomorrow and today. So if you're over there towards the eastern half of the United States, it's about to feel like summer. Okay, it's about to feel like summer. As you can see here, we got that warm and kind of just sit over the eastern half of the United States and even the plains. It's going to be pretty warm until like around April 19th and 20th. Probably going to have like a chance of cold air coming through. That might come with a severe weather potential, but who knows. Okay, so here is the Climate Prediction Center. You can see that we have, if you're over here from Atlanta to Savannah, we could be seeing a 70% chance of above normal temperature. So it's going to be pretty warm out over here if you live in pretty much just this part of the United States here. So yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on with some temperatures. If you're over here towards the western half of the United States, you do have potential for more cooler temperatures trying to come through, so be aware for that. Well, yeah. Anyways, we also got drought conditions because of all these warm temperatures. It's not going to be helping the drought. Okay, it's not going to be helping the drought in the southeast. If we do check out the drought here, I mean, just look at this. The Climate Prediction Center drought. Oh my, we got exceptional drought down here in Tallahassee. You guys are in exceptional drought, and that warm temperatures are not going to help. So I know that's some bad news, but anyways, about the drought. But anyways, guys, thank you just for watching. Like, I would have got my other video out sooner than this one because, like, I was editing the other video. Then the Storm Prediction Center, of course, updates the risk and upgrades the tornado risk, expands down to Chicago, of course. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.